A world where dark forces are taking over, a band of badly drawn CG animals must come together and defeat whatever the fucking dust is. And all. Man, this movie is fucking dorky. I can't take it.
I'm going to take a wild guess here because you told me this movie really bored you. And I'm not going to disagree with you per se here, but you fell asleep, didn't you?
I sure did.
I thought so because you had no idea. It's not that hard to figure out. You just got to stay with it for a little while. I agree with you. The first half of this movie, it's like those political parts from The Phantom Menace where you're like, you got to be fucking kidding me. This is like watching a debate. When are they going to get done with the exposition? But if you stick with it for a little while, it comes together and you get to see giant polar bears kicking the shit out of like
okay, let me put it this way. Even if I had stuck with it and understood, I just don't give a damn.
Now hold on.
No, wait a minute. Now, what makes this different from the Chronicles of Narnia? Because that's how I felt in that movie.
I've seen the Chronicles of Narnia first, so I just don't really need to see anymore. I mean, come on. Let me put it this way. I'll let you you explain to me what this movie is. First, let me say what I saw. I saw, like I said, a fantasy world where there's these dark forces coming together, so they got to get an army of talking animals and every mythical creature that's out there to come together and fight it. I've seen this shit in every other fantasy movie before, and I was just telling Carlisle that this is like the least of all those movies that I've seen.
You can oversimplify any movie to those terms you just did on some level. Say, oh, it's just another romance film with a guy meets a girl and they fall in love and get together. And say, oh, that's all there is. Well, that's true. That is his skill, really. But no, it's much deeper than that. One of the things I think I liked about this, and I'm guessing Leon as well, is that it's not at all subtle about the bad guys being an allegory for organized religion.
That's what cracked me up because you were afraid that they weren't going to rag on the Catholic Church.
Oh, man.
And that's all they do for the whole movie.
just like the books, it's like a big gun held to the head of the Catholic Church. You're bad, I tell you.
Yeah, and I saw that and I appreciated that, but
it wasn't real simple about it either. It actually got into the reasonings why. You know, it's not just like I resent the fact you're telling me what to do. It starts getting in a metaphorical way the philosophy behind these ideas. And before there's any internal argument, this isn't an atheist film, okay? It's about everyone's got souls and everything in it. It's not even vaguely atheist. It's just anti-big organized religion.
What do you think?
Here we go again. I got to animate his eyes darting back and forth again.
Yeah. What's going on? What?
Oh no! I don't have anywhere to jump in there.
Well, you got an opinion about this movie, right?
Well, yeah, but it came out. You know, we were going.
Well, what's your opinion then?
Oh, we'll just pick up back where you were.
Yeah,
going.
no, God,
it's not linear when we edit always.
No. I'm aware of that. That just came out of nowhere. Okay. No, I liked the film. I thought it was good. It was entertaining. I mean, I see where you're coming from on the whole fantasy monsters thing, but that's what a fantasy movie is. I mean, that's the whole reason we watch them. We don't go to this thing because we're like, oh, hey, we want to watch a deep introspective film. No. We want to watch giant polar bears kick the crap out of each other. That's why you go to this movie. I really dug some of the fantasy concepts. Some of them are really, really good. The whole idea that we're in this world where your soul is on the outside of your body and it manifests into an animal form, and that when you watch the people's souls in the film, their animals are actually acting out what their inner turmoil is, and I dig that. But I think Cyrus said the key word here, which is exposition. And this film is crippled by the fact that it's a bunch of people standing around talking, but they want to keep the best secrets to themselves, so they're talking in circles as not to give away what the big secrets are further down the line in the books. Then it hits the biggest problem, which is this has the same ending of Fellowship of the Rings, which is we gear up and we're like, yay, we've had this great adventure and it's not even close to over, but we're going somewhere. And if you watch the next movie, you'll see where this film is going. And it just kind of leaves you like, really? That's where you're going to end?
Well, it ended by saying, this is going to be big and we want to make another one so we can make some more money.
But that's going into it, you should know. It's the first part of a trilogy, and I don't have any inherent problem with that. It's if you're going to be upset going into a film that you know is going to end this way, then don't go see
I'm
this
not
movie.
upset about that. No, I'm not upset about that. First, let me just say, let me clear something up. I even told him, I told Carla, I said, hey, I see a lot of movies. This is just something that's kind of getting old with me personally, and this movie is probably good for a lot of people. Just personally for me, and I'm not trying to get people to see it my way. If you see this movie and enjoy it, then take your little nerdy ass on and enjoy it. No, I'm just kidding. No, if you enjoy this movie, then enjoy it. I'm just saying, for me, it didn't do anything for me. I mean, and apparently the books are popular. Never read the books.
Now, I'll say this. Now, like I said, the first half of the movie, I'm sitting there just like how you're describing. I'm going, and Carlisle's saying, way too much exposition, stuff they're just talking in circles. Like, this is really dull. There's parts that are cool, there's ideas that are cool, but I am bored. And then the moment that fucking polar bear shows up, the whole movie turns around.
The polar bear is a turning point in that movie. And, man, I'm still wanting the icy after watching that movie.
I know, or a Coke at least.
now, tell me this. Now, who didn't appreciate the fact that the evil bitch was an ancestor of Ann Coulter?
Yeah, right. Literally named Coulter.
But do you see what we're talking about here? Because the movie did turn around for me when that bear came up. I mean, there's a cool ass bear in here. It's pretty much a bear that just says, "Don't fuck with me."
You know, a giant scary bear voiced by Ian McKellen.
Well, there's a whole bunch of cool ass big scary bears. What about the bear that was voiced by Ian McShane and a cool ass bear fight? That's like the best fight I've seen this week.
All we can mention is, hey man, this movie got some kick-ass polar bears in it. We ain't talked about numbers, some fucking polar bears.
Hey, you said the same thing with giant transforming robots.
Yeah, but that movie wasn't trying to be nothing else but some robots. And keep in mind, I ain't even trying to say that movie was something that was epic. I said that movie was stupid, and I ain't even calling this movie stupid. I'm just saying this movie just some old fantasy shit I've seen over and over again.
Now,
don't get mad at me. It's just me.
But it's so easy to get mad.
I'm gonna call you guys nerds for liking this, but don't get mad at me. It's just my opinion.
Did I not say I was joking when I said nerds? Now, if you take that personally, that's your old polar bear loving ass fault. That ain't me.
I don't know that I took it personally.
I think we did say the movie started getting good when there was a polar bear. We didn't say that was all that was good about it. We'd say, yeah, it's just a polar bear. Whenever the polar bear's on, it's good. Everything else is some old bullshit. But that polar bear,
No, there's actually a lot of good things to this movie. The problem is that this movie is the sum of a bunch of really good parts.
Yes.
Personally, I loved every moment that Sam Elliott was on the screen. Sam Elliott came on, and I mean, come on, if you're gonna have a cowboy stereotype, a rifle carrying, hat wearing, jackrabbit sidekick cowboy,
you're legally required to have Sam Elliott.
Exactly, and Sam Elliott's awesome. And then Sam Elliott, the way he interacts with the polar bear. You mentioned the Ian McShane polar bear. There's so many cool little bits to this, but they all feel like we're setting it up for a different movie.
Yeah.
And we're saying, here's all the parts for the movie that's really going to kick your ass, but we didn't make that movie yet. We're waiting to see if this movie does well first. The problem is that because it ends like Lord of the Rings, but we allowed Lord of the Rings to do that because we knew they already had the movie in the can. Next Christmas, we were going to have it. We may not have another movie here, and when you have an opening to a movie like this, to a trilogy, you need to end it kind of like Star Wars, to where people walk out going, damn, that was a good movie, I'd like to see another one like it, and then you come in with another movie that continues the story that you didn't know needed to be continued.
I agree. It's almost arrogance to say, like, hey, look what we got for you, and we know you're going to want to come back and see another one. It's like, well, don't take that for granted.
Well, it's become, that's another problem with the movie with me. It wasn't that they ended it that way. I mean, if they really absolutely had to, that's fine, but it really was obvious that they are hoping to create a franchise and make some money off of it by leaving that ending open like that. But the thing is, and a lot of people argue this. They'll say that I think the movie's just written with cliches, from the dialogue to things like Sam Elliott as being a stereotypical cowboy. And some people say, well, that goes hand in hand with some fantasy. And if that suits you, that's fine. But I'm getting tired of hearing people come in using dialogue like, oh, my child, where are you going? And then I'm getting, Sam Elliott comes on like, hey, partner. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Well,
come
now,
on.
Keep in mind that this is adapted from a children's book. And this is supposed to be a children's movie. It's a little violent for a children's movie.
It's PG-13 though, so I mean, it's really not that much of a children's story.
So was half of the Harry Potter movies,
and they're not children's stories anymore.
Well, but this was
like as they grow on, they've gotten more adult as they've gone along.
These were written as children's books, and this book is a children's book.
And when was it written?
1995.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not an old book.
Yeah, no. It's a children's book that was written 12 years ago. and the series, the first one, The Golden Compass, was written in 95. The other one followed 97 and then 99, I think, was
something like that. But they were always intended for older children. They weren't intended for young children. He always said they were meant more for teens. Really.
The interview I read with him today said that he wrote them as children's books.
Well, it depends on. I mean, you can use that to talk about teens.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's for teenagers. I don't give a damn. I ain't no teenager. I ain't got
for young adults.
All I'm saying is they were written as children's book, and that's the kind of dialogue you put in there. Now, granted, a lot of the dialogue in here sounds stiff. There is one. We keep talking about how awesome the polar bear is, and yet there's one scene where they're getting out all the exposition from the polar bear, where even I, of all people, was rolling my eyes, going, "You're laying it on a little thick, there, guy."
Yeah. I mean, look.
When they took away my armor and I sat